but she wasn't sure. Wait! Oh, my mom, she's going to be so mad. I didn't get any spinning done today. None whatsoever. And, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, the wood maiden heard her cry and heard her tears. And she came and she said, but wait, I can help you. You can? Oh, my mom will be so mad if I didn't come back with my spinning. And she took the basket and she took the spindle and she turned all the way around. She handed it back. Now, if you take the spindle and you treat it nicely and with kind words, it'll spin and spin and spin and spin. But if you say anything bad, any bad words, any angry thoughts, it'll and all the spinning will go poof. Okay, she knew she had to get home. It was late, and her mother would be really, really mad if she didn't get there. Okay, thank you. She never asked what she meant. She grabbed the basket, and she took the coats, and she went running, and she was running. Oh, wow, she almost forgot about that branch there, and she came past, flowers, and didn't even wait to wave for them to wave back. She came back around, and she leaped on the rock and said, good night, everybody, good night. I'm in a hurry, sorry, goodbye. And she raced on into the house. Oh, she could hardly wait to tell her mother all about the events of the day. But, should she really? She knows she should. And, she wanted to tell her about the beautiful maiden and that little tiny creature beside her whose smile was as bright as the sun. But, she really didn't ask her name. And she kind of knew what her mother thought about talking to people she didn't know. And so she didn't tell her mother. And she didn't tell her mother about the spindle either. But that night, as always, she went to sleep, dreaming that 4 walls would be 4 rooms. She danced on the stage of her mind as she drifted off to sleep. And in the morning, she could hardly wait. She was so excited. She went running up and she got that cup and she drank it, that rusty water like the finest of teas. And she went running out. Oh, wow. And she picked up the goat. She could hardly wait to get to the birch cove. And she ran and she leaped on the rock. Good morning, sun. Good morning, moon. Good morning, turtle. Hey, squirrel. Good morning. And she turned and she bowed. Leaping off the rock, she headed, good morning, flowers. And they waved back. And coming on, she ducked under that low rising branch of the high rising tree. And she wondered if she'd be there. Would she be there? Oh, and she could hardly concentrate on working on her spinning. But Spider came down, and she knows Spider showed those petrified bugs trophies, but she was so excited that she never really noticed in those caterpillars and their beautiful wings. There they were. But she never saw them because her mind, would that beautiful fairy come back again? She wasn't sure, and there were the worms, and they were going with their hats on their heads. But would she come back? And what about her spinning? Well, she had to stay to her spinning. She couldn't dance today. She had to know that her spinning got done because she always listened to her mother. And so she had decided that day, even if that beautiful maiden came, she would not spin. And sure enough, when the sun reached that part of the sky, she didn't dare look up. No, she couldn't spin today. She had to make sure her work was done. But she could feel the eyes upon her. And she looked. And there she was. Oh, she had come back. The most beautiful of maidens. Wow. And again, she reached out. Will you dance with me? And just as before, she danced with the rays of the sun and the music of the wind. just as before, that sun, it was dropping off the end of the trees. It was time to go home, but she didn't do her spinning. Oh no, her mother was going to be so mad, and she didn't understand what this person had said about the spindle, and how was she going to say this to her mom? And tears filled her eyes. But wait, my spinning. Well, the beautiful lady came back. She said, I will help you. She went off into the trees. She's watching. The sky is getting darker. Where is she? She took my box. She took my spindle. Where is she? The lady came back. She handed her her basket. Do not open. Now listen. Listen not once, but listen twice. Do not open that until you are in the four walls and one roof of your home. Thank you. But as she started to leave with the goats, why, it was so light. There's probably nothing in there. I am going to be in so much trouble. She stomped off, and hit, that low-rising branch and the high-rising tree. Her head just ached. Oh, flowers, how can you be so happy at a time like this? She stomped off, tripped over the rock. Oh, this stupid rock! She didn't care if it was white and magical with gray and black speckles. Tears filled her eyes. She was sure that nothing was in this basket. She hadn't told her mother, she hadn't been honest. What was she going to say? And she sat on that rock. She just had to know what was in there. She opened it up and leaves, birch leaves, just like the one she stomped over every single day in the birch grove. She took a handful of leaves and threw it out on the rock. What was she going to say to her mother? Her mother would be furious. She almost emptied the basket, but, well, the goats would like a special birch leaf treat. She closed the lid of the basket. She walked slowly home. When she opened the door, you know those mother looks? Yeah. Her mother looked down at her. She knew that her mother was beyond furious. What is going on? Mom, hi, how was your day today? You look really good today. It didn't change the look in Mother's eyes, not at all. Mom, do I have the best bug chatter stories? Oh man, you would not believe Spite. No, okay. Well, actually, Caterpillar, they had, no. Oh, this is the best with the worms. I mean, they had their hats on backwards. Yeah. No. She had no choice. She sat down, told her mother everything that happened. The beautiful maiden, the little tiny creature with a smile that was as bright as the sun, and how she got to dance. That made her so happy, but tears were like, Mom, I am so sorry. I should have told you. Her mother's look went from to total panic. You should have told me. Daughter, that was the Wood Maiden. The stories. Do you remember the stories? But I thought they were just stories, Mom. The Wood Maiden. And then she knew. She remembered the stories her mother had told her. The Wood Maidens. Why, if she had been a boy. Ooh. She looked at her feet. Oh, good, her toes were still there. Because the Wood Maidens, if she were a boy, would have danced her until her toes fell off and her heels turned to mush. But she remembered, too, the stories. Sometimes, especially if the wood sprite was with them, they would help little girls that had dreams and passions and, the basket! Oh, Mom, the basket! Mom! And they picked up the basket. And she hardly dared look inside. And opening it. those leaves, they had turned to pure gold. Oh, Mom, wait! She ran out of the house. She tripped along through the forest. She banged right into the rock and the little sore. And she looked. And she picked up the leaves she had thrown out, and they were just like any other on the ground. But the next day, when her mother went in town, they had just enough. And the very following day, she woke up in the morning. 4 walls had become 4 rooms. And in the morning, she drank from the finest cup of tea. And whenever the winds blew, the house went, And whenever the rain went, ka-sploosh, 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 the house, it stayed dry. And whenever the thunder went, kaboom, well, you could hear just a little bit of it. And she had gone out to the birch grove many a time after that and never did see the wood maiden. But it wasn't long before she danced, no longer on the stage of her mind, but on the stages across the world. For it is said, for those of you that ever dance with a fairy, they dance like none other. Thank you very much.